All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Pulse with your host Tone Vase, where we look at all of the charts. Promise you the news show is going to come back, probably not today. I'm not sure about over the weekend. It's a holiday in the United States, but we are going to bring you back the news show. And as promised, the law show will also return. That I'm using the right mic audio settings, and I am. Video should be good, and I just need to pull out your live chat and we will be good to go, even though I don't pay attention to it as much. Hopefully I have a few people that can help me out with the Q&A. Let me adjust the mic here so I can see. There we go. All right. Okay, let's go to the charts. All right, hey guys, hey, check out the Tone Vase store. We got some cool items here in case you are interested in picking up some t-shirts, of course. All right, let's go straight to the charts. I want to look at the S&P 500 first, and then we will head over to Bitcoin as people continue to trickle in. We are kicking off. YouTube is being really slow about telling me how many live viewers I have, but it looks like about 300. Perfect. Okay, so yesterday was not a very good day for the stock market, but it wasn't all that bad. We are still, we closed at the lows for the week, but we were lower earlier that week, and we're still near the top. In the futures market early this morning, we were down pretty bad, but now we are rallying. So this Friday is going to be a pretty critical close. I'm just going to look at the weekly chart real quick. There's not much to say. My view on the stock market is the following. If we can close above this Fibonacci line, and the Fibonacci line currently sits at 29.34. If we can close above that area, and at the moment we're above that area, and it looks like we're going to open a little bit higher. If you look at the futures market, we are opening a quarter of a percentage point higher, so 7 points, which is good enough. So as long as we close at current areas or higher than current areas, it makes me bullish going into the holiday weekend. Now, there was a rule that I learned a long time ago when I was learning how to trade. And that rule is never enter a trade the day before a holiday and the day after a holiday. So today is not the day to enter any trades. That was one of the rules that was taught to me. So just keep that in mind. Today is the day that I would actually be exiting some of my trades. I have a few covered calls. And since the market went up, those underlying assets will be called away from me. One of those is Tilray. Tilray was one of the ones that we did a while ago during the options class as a covered call. And that's going to get called away today. Okay, it turned out to be a decent, profitable trade. I'd have to look up the percentage on that, but it certainly wasn't too bad. Well, it wasn't bad. It certainly wasn't amazing, but it was pretty damn good. Okay, so, and I have a few others as well. I think American Airlines is going to get called away from me as well. I've been doing the covered calls play with the high volatility, and it worked out pretty well in this little run-up over the last few weeks. Okay, oil. It looks like oil has topped. Like I've been saying all week long, I was looking for a top Thursday or Friday. You can see what happened. We exhausted the momentum counts, and now we are turning to the downside. And so like I've been saying all week, if you're in oil, you may want to take your profit. Would I short oil? Well, I'm going to go back to the rule I mentioned in the beginning of the show, that do not enter trades the day before or the day after a holiday. Markets are going to be closed on Monday for Memorial Day. Memorial Day is coming very early this year. Not normal. I thought it was going to be next weekend, but it is this weekend. So keep in mind, oil certainly dropped hard overnight, but it has pulled back up. I don't think that's going to hold. I see oil as topping right here. How low will oil go? I'm not sure. We now have a support point right here around $25. But I do think oil is a little overpriced right now, considering how undervalued it was, when it went into the negative 40 range, which was insane. Of course, that was on the upcoming delivery, and the economies around the world could come close to opening up. All right, let's glance at silver real quick. Unlike gold, silver rallied really, really hard, and it also topped based on momentum. Again, is anyone surprised? Not really. I always say look for a top around this area, candle before, candle after, and then we go from there. Right now, I am looking at a pullback in silver, which is kind of weird because I'm still long gold. So I did not get out of my gold position yesterday. I was really thinking about it. I was sitting at break even. So I got in at approximately where the price is right now. So this is approximately where I got into the long gold trade. I was supposed to get in at the green line. Unfortunately, I got to the trading broker a little late, and I had to chase gold in closer to the middle of this candle. So that was my fault. That wasn't the trading strategy. That was bad execution. And I got out with half of my position at the top of the next day. I felt that it went up quite a bit in a short time, and I didn't want to risk it. Yesterday, the other half of my trade actually went into the red, and it kind of did it like in spurts and very quickly. I did not get out of my position. I really thought about it. I still have it. Even though the price is slightly higher than when I got in, because I'm using options, time decay has eroded some of my premium. And for those that took the options course, you understand implied volatility. And implied volatility has fallen since this day. And therefore, my options trade, even though the price of gold is higher than when I actually got in, my position is slightly in the red. But this is half of my position because the other half of my position was taken off the table at a nice, 10, 15% profit or something just in a single day, which is good. And I will probably be exiting this today. I may or may not hold it through the weekend. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But over the weekend, I'll tell you guys if I fully exited. I'm sure I'll do a video over the weekend, and I'll let you know if I fully exited. This is not a channel. None of this is trading advice. I provide my view of the markets, and I occasionally talk about the trades that I have. So me tweeting out in real time, I just sold gold or I just bought gold, goes against the principle of you making your own decisions. So if you are also in gold, and I know some people are, and I know people that took the same trade that I did at a much better point than I did, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. I will not tell you. That's not what I do. So it's up to you to decide, do you want to sell this gold position going into this long weekend because anything can happen on Monday? And this is purposely why I will say what I did during the weekend so you can't use it as potential trading advice, and that's how I make sure of that front. Okay, nothing to say on this, nothing to say on the minor hash rate, nothing much to say on GBTC. Other than the premium is coming down. By the way, I've been doing so many like web conferences, and I was on another one with Michael Turpin and Coin Agenda. It was myself, Michael Turpin, Matt Rozak, and Fran from Brave New Coin. And we were talking about the Bitcoin ETF quite a lot. I actually want to put that panel up on my YouTube channel. Speaking of my YouTube channel, guys, I've been posting some of my presentations on my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel, they're not live streams, which is why people aren't perhaps being notified. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see that I'm live now. And you just go to the video section. I try to make as many playlists as I can, but I do so much stuff, including all the stuff in Russian, that it's hard to keep up. So if you look at these, right, if you just go to videos, you see this video right here, 3.6 thousand views, and it's way less than the video from yesterday morning or our morning brief. Keep in mind that this is an amazing panel. This was awesome. We did this 2 days ago. It was myself, Leah Wald, Maddie Greenspan. It was an awesome panel about markets and trading. And here's the presentation that I did. And I'm going to try to get some of these other ones because it's hard. I have to contact the conferences. I have to get that video footage. I have to upload it to the channel. And it's a lot of work. And I do have some people that are helping me, but it's still a lot of work and coordination. So I do my best to get all my content to you for free. Almost all my content. There is some content that does require a small payment, my on-demand educational videos, but all this content is free. So check out this and check out this presentation. So these are the two things I've done this week, and I've spoken at like 5 other like web conferences, and I have a bunch of more for next year. I gotta start saying no to people. I gotta learn how to say no. I think there's a book like The Power of Saying No or something like that. So check these out. I mean, this was such a good panel, and 3.6 thousand views doesn't do it justice. Please check it out, guys. Okay, let's move on to the price. So how did I get to this tangent? Oh, we were talking about the Canadian closed-end fund, and I took a look at that, and I actually wasn't sure if I could buy it. So I did. So eventually, I finally have the right permissions in my retirement account to purchase the Canadian version of GBTC, which is completely different structure. Completely. Neither one of them is an ETF, but the Canadian one has a way lower premium. So I was able to, as a test case, I was able to buy the Canadian version of GBTC in my retirement account, and that one only has a 10% premium instead of a 23% premium. So that is way better, okay? So the next time I execute a trade to get exposure on Bitcoin in my retirement fund, I will probably not be using GBTC. I will probably be using QBTC until the premiums even out. You can also run arbitrage between the two. Because if one is at a 10% premium and the other is a 23% premium, I mean, you know what to do. If you are able to short one while going long the other. But I don't know if it's shortable, and I'm not allowed to short my retirement account, so I can't execute arbitrage. But you guys could, maybe, if you know what you're doing. Please know what you're doing. All right. Now we get to the meat and potatoes. So here we are. Here we are with the ascending triangle. I cannot fudge this triangle anymore. I am done. I have given it my best to I've given it my best. Can I still do it? Is it still possible? It's technically still possible, but it's starting to go into the realm of ridiculousness. But it is possible. It is absolutely possible. I will keep doing it until like it forces me to stop. Because look, I can even touch just as many candles. So maybe I can still do it. Trading is not easy. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I am once again able to. We can keep doing this for the rest of the year. Eventually, I can't do it. But as long as... See, at this point, it's even trickier. Maybe not. Let me... Let me not break any of tone vase rules. At the moment, we're breaking a tone vase rule. And that rule is we're touching the body of a candle. It's like surgery right here. Boom. Got it. Now, I'm not too thrilled with this triangle. And even though we have multiple touches of the horizontal line, we have 2 clear touches of the rising trend line. So this is still technically possible. This is why I am staying away from being long Bitcoin other than buying some QBTC as a test. I think I bought 100 shares, which is like $1,000. I think that's, now I don't think that's crazy money, though I know some people are watching me from very impoverished nations for which that would be a lot of money. And I'm conscious of that, of course. So it's stretching it a bit. I'm not putting that much weight on this, but it's there. As long as it's there, as long as we don't break these lows, as long as we don't break this moving average, This is the general shape of our environment. Okay, not much to say here other than it's fallen quite a bit in 48 hours, right? This is 20th, this is 22nd. It's fallen quite a bit in 48 hours. It certainly needs a bounce. If Bitcoin can make it back to 10,000, I would be bullish. At the moment, I am completely neutral. However, the weekly chart is where it's at. The daily chart is useless right now. We flipped on the counts, and we did not have a green 2 go above a green 1. In fact, we didn't even have a green 2. It turned into a red 1. And now we have a red 2. Now, the red 2 is not going below the red 1 yet. So this puts you in a complete and utter no trade zone. So here's another thing that I can do right here. On a daily scale, I can draw a symmetric triangle. Like that. Not a great symmetric triangle, but it's good enough. Okay. Symmetric triangles at the top of the range are generally more bullish than bearish. So I can draw a symmetric triangle looking shape. And for me, this works as well. So as long as we stay in this triangle, it's a no trade zone. Notice how we've been in a no trade zone for a little while. The short-term chart was bullish. The long-term chart is actually bearish. The daily chart is nowhere. The daily chart is the one that is now in a no trade zone. The 4-hour chart has been more bullish than bearish overall. And now, once again, if you treat this as a bounce off of support, you could make the argument that it's bullish and the counts are telling you to go long on the 4-hour chart. But here's where the big conflict comes in. The weekly chart is telling you that you are going to be going down because of the resistance of the trend line. And this resistance is very, very serious. We have a major resistance right here. The trend line knocked it back down. Now, if we go all the way down to 6,300, we can form the most beautiful head and shoulders ever, but it will take time. It will take time for us to get to 6,300. And then it will take time for us to get back to 10,000. It could take us the entire summer to do this. And that's why I still expect to win my bet. And that bet is, will Bitcoin close the day more than 90 times this year above 10,000? And we can count the days right here. Here's the day where we closed above 10,000. That was the first day this year we closed above 10,000. It was February 11th. That's 1. February 12th is 2. February 13th is 3. February 14th is 4. That's it. The following day, we closed $100 lower. So this is non-debatable day. That's 4 days. Then on February 18th, we closed at 10,185 on Bitstamp. I'm pretty confident it closed above 10,000 across all exchanges or the majority of exchanges. So that is day number 5 towards me losing the bet, but it needs to happen 90 times. Now, it may or may not have happened one more time on May 7th. On May 7th, Bitstamp closed at exactly 10,000. So this may or may not be a day towards Tone Vase losing the bet. If this day matters, if, let's say, Bitcoin obviously closed 89 days above 10,000, then this day will need to be, debated. But until that other situation occurs, this day is a maybe. So we have 5.5 days of closures above 10,000. This is literally half because it closed right at 10. So that's it. And my view is we're not going to close above 10,000 for more than 90 days this year. Now, keep in mind, if we stay below 10,000 into November, I won the bet. And then in November, we can go to 100,000 and it doesn't matter for my bet. So my view is that we would stay below 10,000 for the majority of the year. But that doesn't mean we can't break out. That doesn't mean we can't close the year at 50,000. It just means the majority of the year, we're stuck below 10. Once we break 10,000, we can escalate very quickly. And I mean very, very quickly. So here is my view. Once we break the $10,000 zone, You can see it right here. I have an arrow breaking 8,000 in December. But then I have us at 15,000, well, not that quickly towards the second half of the year. But I'm just saying that this could be this. Well, like that's what I'm saying. We can break 10,000 in, say, November, and by the end of and by the end of December, we're breaking all-time high. That can certainly happen. Okay, I'm not ruling that out by any means. What I'm saying is that the road to breaking 10,000 is going to be a lot more challenging than many people believe. And I could be proven wrong tomorrow. But until I'm proven wrong, I'm going to stick to that. Viewpoint. All right, guys, we got some questions. Please check out tonevase.com and support with the affiliate page and the on-demand videos. All right, we got a few questions. Thank you, Bitcoin Motorist, for shooting those over to me. Though I do also see a question that starts off really good. A lot of traders are watching the 4-hour channel starting back in March 18th. I've been holding even with this. The 4-hour channel starting on March 15th. Let's see. So here's the 4-hour chart. Channel starting from March 15th. Here is March 18th, sorry. So here, that's April. Okay. Oh, so that's down here. A channel? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. We can try to draw that. The chart's going to get cluttered. But I can see that. God, I got so much on this chart. I can see that. It's not great, but yeah, it's pretty good. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. I did not notice it. Haven't seen it. See, the good news is we're clearly out of this downward channel. That was a disaster. Yeah, I can see that. I can leave that. I can leave that big, thick purple line because it's not really in the way of my short-term views. No, that makes sense. I can see that. All right. And the later we break out of this triangle, see, look, if we break out of this triangle, this latest triangle later, we're pretty much, well, if I put it really later, I doubt we would last that long, but I wish. And then we'd hit the top of this. Well, we could also hit it on a wick, right? And then pull back into the channel. Yeah, I can see this. Certainly. Still going to move the arrow over. Yeah, breakout May 31st. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. All right. Good catch. Is the monthly Bitcoin stochastic about to turn bullish, or is it just lagging? The monthly Bitcoin stochastic. I don't even have stochastic up. Let's go and find stochastic. Am I not looking at the right thing? That does not look like the stochastic to me. What am I missing? I haven't looked at the stochastic in ages. Let me make sure I pulled up the right thing. God, last time I looked at stochastic was probably 5 years ago. Kind of stopped paying attention to that one. Yeah. That's not how I trade stochastic. Like I never cared for the cross. In fact, I'm not even sure why I'm displaying multiple lines. I care if it's up here or down there. I care when it turns, not when it crosses. So stochastic is totally in the middle, like it's neutral. It's not telling you anything. I use stochastic more similar to the way I use RSI, not the way I use the MACD. So to me, this is nothing. This is borderline something. This is something. And this is something. But this is nothing. So stochastic to me right now is useless. All right. Let me drop it. Just not something I use for trading. All right, we got questions. Oh, and we got a super chat question. Oh, wow, and the market just opened. I'm not even paying attention. I'm going to try to go through your questions, and then I got to decide if I'm going to exit gold or not. And I'm actually curious how some of the stocks are doing. DraftKings is doing well. I'm long Uber. Let's see how that's doing. That's doing pretty well. Would love for it to hit the target. See, it's stuck right at resistance. It's got to break it. It's got to break this resistance line. Tilray. So I'm long Tilray, but I'm long Tilray with a covered call, and it just crushed it today. So there it is. So my covered call is now in the money, and boom, I'm going to lose this stock today. It's going to get called away from me today. It broke out yesterday, and the calls that I had sold, been selling calls on this since April. So this whole time, just been selling calls every week, just been selling weekly calls against it. And finally just got called away. So this will probably be 15, 20%, maybe more gain. I don't know. I got to check the books. Okay, question, super chat question. Tone, would you consider the S&P having a spirit of the 9 in 2 weeks? I think the difference was 7 points. I don't know. Let's see. On a weekly chart or on a daily chart? You know, I'm not displaying all my numbers right now. If it's on a weekly chart and the difference is 7 points, then yes, I probably would. If it's a daily chart and the difference is 7 points, I probably won't. So I'll just answer that briefly. All right, let me just go through the other questions because I do want to get back to trading. I know I'm promising you guys that I'm going to stop trading so I can be, so I don't have to rush off these streams, but for now I still have positions. As the triangle expands, it needs more touch points on top and the hypotenuse right in order to get stronger. That is absolutely correct. As the triangle expands, it needs more touches. Otherwise, not a triangle anymore. So I don't like to draw these triangles prematurely. I like my triangles to have 3 touches, and the triangle did have 3 touches. So now the triangle only has 2 touches, so I should delete the triangle, but I'm lazy to delete it, so I'm just expanding it. So correct. The triangle needs 1 more touch along the hypotenuse side. Wow, talk about a word I haven't heard in a while. It needs another touch along the hypotenuse side, but I would like to see another touch here. So in a perfect world, we go up, we hit the top of it this weekend, and then we go down, and we hit the bottom of it mid next week, and then we break out the week after. Like going into June, we break out. Any thoughts about the Woo difficulty ribbon? It's compressed. No thoughts because I haven't looked at it. So here's Willy Woo's charting. Segwood is very disappointing. I still want to see more. We can go back to his charts somewhere. Difficulty ribbon. Somewhere here. I think. I can't find it. There it is. That took a little while. Look, Willie's the expert here. I'll try to bring him on the show again. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Well, it makes sense because, look, there's going to be some upheaval in the mining world. And it's compressed, but it's not like it was, not like here. Not like here. You got to give it more time. You got to let these miners, like, at the moment, because of the halving, look, if Bitcoin drops another $1,000, some miners will get shut down. Like, the difference between your mining operation getting shut down right now is the margin of error is very small. So I will wait. It's not as compressed as it was here. I would love to see it get compressed like this again. And if Bitcoin stays below 6,000, below 10,000 and as low as 6,000 for the next 6 months, it will, I believe it will get compressed like this again. And then awesome breakout coming. In the monthly Bit, oh yeah, no, I already took a look at that. Do you know? The bet that I have about Bitcoin closing above 10,000, we never picked an exchange. It was more like, it's a good friend of mine. And it was more like, hey, if it's not obvious, we'll deal with it later. So there's no single exchange. And it's more like, it's more of the spirit of the concept. It's like, I said, we're going to get stuck in a range between 6,000 and 10,000 for the year. And he said, you're crazy. So over a bunch of drinks, we made a bet whether Bitcoin is going to stay below 10,000 or above 10,000. And that was our best thinking after, you know, hanging out at a bar. Well, it was a nice restaurant, but it was over drinks. And this way, I can still win the bet if Bitcoin is at 50,000 by end of year, as long as it stayed the majority of the year below 10,000. And he can still win the bet. If Bitcoin doesn't moon and Bitcoin stays about 11,000 the rest of the year, he still wins the bet, because then I'm wrong on saying that it will stay between 6 and 10. So we just came up with a general bet, and I'm pretty sure by the end of the year, it's going to be obvious who won, him or me. And if it's not obvious, we will figure it out. And the bet is for a nice dinner. So if it's for a nice steak. So if it's not obvious, we'll just pay for our own meals for a change, instead of, well, mostly him covering my food. Thanks, man. You know who you are. I don't want to dox people. All right, next question. Did you see the silver bearish divergence? I have not. I have not seen the silver bearish divergence. Let's take a look. Do I have anything here? Where would I see the divergence? I still don't see any divergence on the daily chart. So if you don't specify your time frame, I can't say it, because we just topped, and I guess, but no, we would need a higher swing high and a lower RSI and MACD, and we don't have that. So no, I do not see a silver bearish divergence. Maybe I'm missing something. I used the triple screen with MACD on weekly and stochastic RSI on the daily. I don't know stochastic RSI. I've never used it. I've never studied it. I've never used it to trade with. Tone, would you say it's better to use the closed MACD bar or the current unclosed one? Look, it's better to use price, chart patterns, and time momentum. It's never better to use the oscillators. Like, the oscillators are the last thing I look at. Like, I never use the oscillators to enter and exit trades. I use them to help me guide with the trades. Okay? So I don't want to comment on something that's marginal. I don't want to comment on something that's marginal. You know, it's it's marginal. Like, it's kind of like, I'm trying to come up with a good analogy here. Like, imagine you're driving on a highway and you're teaching someone how to drive, and you're on a highway and you're telling them, well, you gotta put a turn signal on if you're gonna change lanes. But the person isn't like focusing, and the question is, well, when do I put the turn signal on? Well, when you intend to change lanes. No, but when? When exactly do I put the turn signal on? How much time do I need to, and how much time do I leave the turn signal on before switching lanes? And then when do I turn it off? Like, how long after? And you're like, well, you're missing the point. Like, the point is to alert the other drivers that you're going to change lanes. Like there's no mathematical formula here. There's no general rule as to when you turn it on and when you turn it off. You kind of just do it. So you're focusing on such a, I don't want to say irrelevant. I don't want to say these oscillators are irrelevant, but they are generally irrelevant compared to other things at play. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about oscillators, just like I don't want to spend too much time explaining to someone how much time before you change lanes you're supposed to put a turn signal on. The important thing is that you're putting on a turn signal. So like that's like the best analogy I can come up with on that. All right, guys. I think that's it. For me. And thank you so much for watching. People are asking about Tesla. Everyone's always asking about Tesla. I usually trade Tesla, but and I was having this discussion with a few people the other night. And when you're trading, it takes away so much of your focus. To me, this looks like a beautiful breakout. Wow. Ready to go. Look at this. Consolidating, ready to go. On a monthly scale, yeah, we can take a look at, yeah, it's topped on a monthly, and the month is still going on. So you got to be careful on a monthly. Where are we on the weekly scale? God, I love this multi-time frame. I know I haven't released it yet. Oh, wait, I'm expanding the wrong side. I know I haven't released multi-time frame yet. I promised you I would do it this month, and I totally lied, but I will. A few things came up, unfortunately. You're getting ready to top on a weekly. So your monthly has topped. It's not perfect, but it has topped. Your weekly has 2 weeks to go. Remember, this week is over. So you're going to come up on an 8 next week. So you're getting close. You're getting close. Would you add to your HODL position here if you currently had 0 or were looking to accumulate much more than your current holdings? I want to be very careful in answering this question, but I just realized today's Friday going into the holiday weekend, and I may add to my own HODL here because I know that the longer term time frame is telling me we're going to go down, but like so many things are happening in Bitcoin, and I want as much HODL as possible. I really do. And my time horizon is beyond the end of this year. So I am willing to increase my HODL position, but that's me. My view has always been, if you have zero exposure to Bitcoin, you should have bought it yesterday. And it doesn't matter if it dropped 10% today. Because I just think it's too important. I've been saying the same thing about the S&P 500 until the global economy shut down. So I'm holding off on that one. But I believe that Bitcoin is, don't put all your eggs into that basket, but I am comfortable with a Bitcoin HODL position for the long term. Okay. That's it, guys. I'm sorry. I got to get going. These videos are running kind of long. I'm going to stop the screen share. We are on day 63. It's the only way I can keep track right there. We are on day 63 of isolation and social distancing. So please stay safe, and I will see you all on the next one.
Ще раз повторюю. Я трейдер. Вже кілька років працюю з онлайн-платформою Binomo. Завантажуй, реєструйся і отримуй до 90% доходу у разі правильного прогнозу Binomo. Ваш чесний трейдинг-партнер.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Pulse with your host, Tone Vise. We're going to take a look at all the markets, at all the charts. It is in New York. It is almost 9 a.m. So the stock markets will open. In about 40 minutes, I will try to get as close to that as possible. But once again, I am still in positions and I need to be in front of the markets. Before we pull out your live chat, we'll go straight to the charts today. Here we go. Later today, I am planning, oh man, I have to speak at 2 conferences today, and I am still planning to do an evening show or an late afternoon show, probably in about 6 hours with Jimmy Song, and we're going to try to cover some of the news. So lots of work to do for the rest of the day. All right, let me get your live chat, guys. And we will start talking about charts. Maybe I'll get to some of your questions too. Okay, here we go. S&P 500. So at the end of the day yesterday, the S&P 500 pulled back hard after making a brand new high in the futures market, and I believe in the cash market as well. Here's the cash market. We sure did. There it is. There's a new high. That's a reversal-ish candle. This candle continued to go down after market closed. Looking at it today in the pre-market, S&P is going back up. So the S&P is not yet ready to top. This also helps Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been in a beautiful bull market ever since that crash back in mid-February, very similar to the stock market. I believe they are still correlated and remain so. So for those that want Bitcoin to keep rising and going to the moon, you want the same thing for the general I want to say the general economy. I understand that the economy is not the stock market. However, it is our best representation of the economy. Like I understand that the stock market is not the economy, but at the same time, the better the stock market does, the better companies do. The better companies do, the more the more people they hire, and the bigger the salary those people get. They're all correlated together. So a rise in the stock market does imply a lower unemployment rate. Now, we're not seeing that right now, but in the future, that's exactly how it's going to go. Anyway, Right now, I am still bullish the S&P 500. I think there is a little more life in it left. And we do have some very critical resistance. We have a resistance line right here at about 3,040 plus a Fibonacci line at 3,100. I do not believe we will get to 3,100 before a significant pullback. At this point, I am ready to exit all bullish exposure, and I probably shouldn't be trading because I just have so much to work on. But if I am to be trading, I would be looking for the market to top sometime in the near future. I've been trying to time some of these other tops, like this one, and some of the ones before, like right here. I thought we were finally going to go down. This is the one. This area I traded. Same with, I think, one of these areas. I don't remember anymore. But go back through my videos. All right, oil. Well, you have the Bitcoin last today. But I'll go through these fast. Oil is still bullish. We have a few more days left in this rally before a potential top. So this is where I would be considering, slowing my roll on being bullish on oil. But let's see what happens by Friday. Monday is going to be the make or break area. I think oil is going to pull back. I think I don't think there's that much demand for oil, but that's just my opinion. The TA is telling me that we have a little more life left, and then you got to be careful. Silver is doing unreasonably well. So silver did not pull back like Bitcoin did. Silver really broke out. I mean, I was bullish at this breakout, but I chose the gold trade over the silver trade. Probably should have chosen the silver trade over the gold trade. Last time I chose the silver trade over the gold trade, and I chose wisely. This time I chose the gold trade over the silver trade, and I chose poorly. You can always diversify and go into both of them. I just don't like silver fundamentally, but when silver broke out, silver went up 11%. When gold broke out, it didn't go anywhere near 11%. When gold broke out, it only went about 3%. So there's a huge discrepancy there. Those that chose silver as their precious metals breakout trade did way better. I mean, I'm not complaining. I made money on my gold trade, and I'm still in the gold trade. Was really happy earlier this morning when we were at the top of this candle. Now we're back here. We're above my entry point. My entry point was in the middle of this candle because I just got busy at market open. So I couldn't get in when I was supposed to get in. I already took half the profit, sitting on the other half. I'll probably get out sometime over the next week or so. I don't want to keep holding it. I am an options trader, and time decay does matter. Keeping an eye on this chart for a few more weeks. I'm going to wait for one more Bitcoin pullback. At the moment, I believe that was the hash rate. Let's skip that. GBTC. I forgot to enter GBTC yesterday. I'll consider doing it today. So here's the 4-hour chart, and I'm saying consider. The 4-hour chart is seriously flirting with the bottom side of this triangle. This is what we're trying to get to all day. I think I should be at, why is my number of live viewers not displaying today? Am I streaming? I am streaming. Oh, there it is. We're at 650 viewers, guys. Please like, please subscribe, please share. It really helps out. I am so close to 100,000 viewers. I don't know what I'm going to do with that stream. You know what? Everyone enjoyed the halving stream by me having a bunch of crypto personalities that you know. I think, and I've been thinking about what should I do when I break 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I think it would be really cool if that stream is similar to the halving stream, only people that watch my channel. So I don't know how I'm going to do it. Please don't message me asking me to come on. I am insanely busy at the moment. We still have months. I'm picking up like maybe 1,000 subscribers a month. So probably around Christmas, I'll break 100,000 subscribers. We'll see. If Bitcoin breaks out to 50,000, it'll be the next day. But I'll come up with something, and I might do one of those streams with some fans, with some people that watch my channel. Probably shouldn't have said this. Please don't message me about it. It's still a random thought in my head, and I will provide more details, maybe a registration page of how you can sign up, provide your, write a little testimonial or something, and we will choose which people based on those testimonials, and we'll have, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 people, and they can talk about some cool stories from watching the channel for the last 5 years. So something like that. I want to do something fun. I want to do something that you guys will enjoy. You are the ones that are making it to 100K, not most people that come on this show that actually watch this channel. I don't blame them. They have their own channels and stuff. All right. Hey, thank you, Andreas. You throw in a little super chat. Let's see what you wrote. Tone, is it true when price is hitting resistance support line again, and again, is the line weaker and it will be broken? That's what I believe. In my experience, the more times you hit a line, the more likely you are to break it. And also, the more horizontal the line, the more that is true. Like if you have an incline, you see this rising trend line, the more times you bounce off of this trend line, the stronger this trend line gets. But the more times you get rejected by this horizontal trend line, the weaker it gets. So it's not that simple. Now, in this case, the more time, here you're about even on both sides. So it's the horizontal lines. The more horizontal your line, the more likely you are to break it, the more times you hit it. And that's why I don't believe in double tops. When this double top came versus this one, it already made me question how low Bitcoin can go. And here we are sitting at 97.60. And today is the day I am looking for a resolution to this triangle because we don't have that much room. We don't have that much room. We're going to break one way or another. And if we break to the downside, my target would be down in the 8,500 range again, because that's where this moving average is. But remember, if we get to this 8,500 moving average, we now have a double bottom versus what happened on May 10th. And boom, all of a sudden, Bitcoin starts to look bearish because of a double bottom. Ugly is also agreeing on this one. I saw his newsletter yesterday where he would potentially be interested in maybe doubling down, which I'm assuming is his bullish trade at the moment. And if this triangle breaks. Now, remember, this is a 4-hour triangle, and the daily and the weekly time frames do skew it. So what am I looking for right now on the daily? Well, if you look on the daily, the BitMEX funding rate is not, it's slightly favoring the bears, but it's favoring it so slightly that it's not a factor at all in my view that Bitcoin could potentially break out. The RSI is still okay. It's not bullish nor bearish. And the MACD is slightly favoring the bears, but that can change with a single update. And then it's going to be favoring the bulls again. The moving averages are about to start favoring the bulls. The stop and reverse points are favoring the bulls. And if we look at the counts, you do not yet have a green 2 above a green 1, but I am very interested in seeing that. If I see the price today start trading above or, start trading above 9,900, that makes me very bullish on the price of Bitcoin. All right, was there another super chat earlier? Oh, there it is. Ever looked at uranium? It's UX1 on TradingView. I don't recall. I actually would like to look at uranium. Let's go and take a look. Here's Tesla. Oh, man, somebody pointed out GoPro to me the other day. Oh, guys, it kind of hurts pointing to stocks that I've been long in and bullish on, but then exited the trade, and now it's pumping. So where's GPro? I don't even know. AGN. What happened to AGN? That was a pretty big stock, no? GPro. So I was trying to time the GoPro trade for a while. I've been talking about GPro. And look at this. Look at that. Look what happened to GPro. Jesus. I wouldn't be in it now, Right now, I would be looking to get out, take my profit. Look at that candle. Look at that candle versus the resistance line. And look at that candle as a momentum top. So, yeah, so I was in the GoPro trade, but I got out like weeks ago, if not a month. I don't even remember when, but I certainly didn't participate in that last dollars or so move up for 25%. So GoPro is finally getting out. I mean, I was in this trade for the long term, thinking someone's going to buy them out. But then I just, got tired of babysitting too many trades. Uranium. Let me look at that real quick, then go back to Bitcoin. Sorry, I got distracted here with uranium. It's always interesting to look at these obscure things sometimes. Commodities and futures. Do I have UX1? I don't. UX1. There it is. I don't even know where that would go. Somewhere up here, maybe? Is it moving or what? I can't like slide these things up? No, I guess not. Whoa. What happened there? What's with the rise? I don't know. I have no comment. This is not it's not very TA-ish. It's definitely toppy. You can see the weekly is topping. Love the multi-time frame. Price flipping here. I don't know, guys. No comment. Let's just go back to Bitcoin. Actually, I don't want to look at gold. I want to look at palladium. Yeah. All right, let's go back to Bitcoin. Daily chart. I'm very close to being bullish on a daily chart. I really like this pattern. I really like this breakout pattern, breaking above the highs. I think can send us way higher. People ask about a false breakout. If it's a false breakout, you'll know. That's why God created stop losses. No, I'm kidding. That's why exchanges give you the option to make stop losses. Look at this. The weekly chart is clearly having the body of a candle fully above the resistance line. I don't know. I can't fudge this resistance line much further up. This is as far back. This is as high up as it's going to go. This is already the most conservative line I can make. Well, no, I'm lying. This is the most conservative line I can make. So using the most conservative line, we are still right at resistance. But a breakout will completely annihilate that. So we're on the edge here. We're on the edge. Now, the counts are not lined up. The counts are telling you that there's a potential top 2 weeks from now or next week, perhaps. So we could see a big pop to even 12,000 and then a giant correction. So you got to be careful. But right now on a short-term time scale, I am bullish. Looking at it from the hyperwave perspective, we have the same thing. On a hyperwave, we are sitting right at resistance. The longer we sit at resistance, the more likely we are to break to the upside here. Okay. All right. That's my view on things. If you want to support, please go to tonevase.com/affiliates. And you can support that way. Don't feel like shilling anything today. If 2.5 billion people adopt Bitcoin, 1 megabyte blocks only give enough capacity for one transaction every 15 years. That is a ridiculous statement. That's even with the Lightning because you need to reconcile. So use PayPal. So use Visa. If 2.5 billion people adopt Bitcoin, well, what if aliens adopt Bitcoin? I mean, that's as realistic as your statement. What if aliens adopted Bitcoin tomorrow? Like, what if aliens come? What would happen? Would it hurt Bitcoin or would it help Bitcoin? Would they have better technology to make Bitcoin scale? Let's have that discussion. That's a lot more realistic, right? 2.5 billion people are not adopting Bitcoin tomorrow. Come on. Insane. What if 12 billion people adopted the internet in 1992. Well, the internet wasn't ready for that adoption, and like, what the hell would they be using with it? And we didn't even have 12 billion people. No, but it doesn't matter. What if 12 billion people adopted the internet in 1992? I mean, come on. Ridiculous statements. Yeah, we do need more nodes. We got to start doing shows on this channel, educating people how to do nodes. My point is Bitcoin won't get mass adoption. So why are you watching? Why are you watching this channel? I can tell you, look, here's my view on things. Bitcoin can get mass adopted. You know what can't get mass adopted? Ethereum, Btrash, any other shitcoin, anything on CoinMarketCap, they can't get mass adopted because there's nobody there competent to do anything. They can't. Ridiculous. If Bitcoin can't get adopted, then we're all going to be using PayPal. Your option, you have two options. You can complain or you can do something to help. I'm doing something to help, but you have the right to simply complain. Yeah, I'm going to try to get Luke Dash Jr. to come on and argue towards smaller blocks. Tone, what do you think? Do you think Bitcoin will hit 6K before mooning? Ooh, good question. If you look at the chart in front of you, I anticipated us hitting 6K at some point. I'm going to update these arrows. Look, until Bitcoin can prove to me that it's ready to break this trend line, I will continue to anticipate the trend line as resistance. If we start to fall here, we will probably fall faster. So I'm going to do this. I still think it's possible for Bitcoin to hit the 6K area. I am still sticking to this. I would like to move this line up. You know, again, this is just my general thinking. It's not trading advice. It's my general thinking on the fact that on January 3rd, I wrote an article saying that Bitcoin will be stuck between 6,000 and 10,000 for the majority of the year. I'm still sticking to that until the price of Bitcoin proves me wrong. And it has not yet proven me wrong. It's on the, it's on the goal line of proving me wrong, but it hasn't proven me wrong yet. It hasn't proven me wrong yet. It probably will, but at the moment it hasn't. So until it's proven me wrong, like if you see, we're going to use the soccer analogy or football, as you guys in Europe like to call it. So using the football analogy, if there's no goalie and the ball is rolling towards, the goal, it's going to go in, but until it does, it doesn't count. So right now, the ball is rolling towards the finish line. Like Usain Bolt is running and he's ahead of the field, but he can still trip and fall and won't finish. So you expect him to finish. I am looking at this trend line. I am leaning towards the break of this trend line being imminent, but until it breaks, I have to assume that anything can happen. What's with the general Bitcoin questions? Why do you think Satoshi would keep 1 million Bitcoin to the side? That feels so contrary to the whole movement, and the thing bothers me. This is a long discussion I don't have time for. First of all, Satoshi may not have access to his coins. Second, Satoshi may have died. Like, you don't know. Satoshi may have burned his coins in order not to be tempted. You don't know. Satoshi may not want to take a risk of being found. Look what's happening to Adam Back right now due to false accusations of him being Satoshi. He may not want to be in the limelight. He may feel that if he spends his Bitcoin, Bitcoin will crash, and then everybody gets hurt. Like, you don't know what other person's motivations are. You know, have you ever bought something you never used? Have you ever bought something and left it on a shelf? Or has someone given you something awesome? Someone gives you, let's say, $1,000 present, and you just put it in a drawer and never look at it, never use it, and then someone comes to you, hey, you're an idiot. How come you're not using that? Why aren't you using it? Just think about it. How many people have you given $10, $20, $30 of Bitcoin worth to them? That $10 of Bitcoin could be worth $1,000 by now if you did it long ago. And those people never gave a shit. They didn't care. Like, hey, you still got that Bitcoin I gave you? No, I lost that phone. I forgot my password. You know, like just because it's happening with 1 million Bitcoin versus 1/10 of a Bitcoin, it doesn't change the mentality of a person. So back when Satoshi had that Bitcoin, it was worthless. So who knows what he did with it? I mean, there's a million questions, and the only answers are people guessing. Hi, Tone. Do you find the current environment of weekly Bitcoin charts similar to 5 to 20 of July 2015? Let's see. Last question, and then I have to get going. July 2015. I was there. I was doing videos. You may want to go find my videos from July 2015. Yes, I do. And I wrote about it. I did write that, but I said that we're not going to go this low. So if you go to my Twitter, you go to my profile. Thank you for following me on Twitter, guys. 200,000 followers. That's awesome. Thank you for that. So I tweeted it out weeks ago. I don't know if I can scroll back that far. By the way, my background is publicly available, so you can just grab this image and use it as your background. But please get a green screen. They just look so much better. Man, that epic live stream. You got to find my tweet from a while ago. Not that long ago. You can probably scroll for it. It was before the halving. It was my projections on the price of like probabilities. The probability tweet. I don't even tweet that much, and there it is. Here we go. These. Here, my last tweet. And look what I say. I tweeted April 28th. Find my April 28th tweet. And here's what I say. So this is the June period you're talking about. And I'm saying, hey, here comes the halving. And I was putting Bitcoin for a potential top right there, and I explain it. So I am looking for this area to be our current area. So I am looking at exactly this. However, I also point out that this area here, this big crash that we had in the August of 2015, is more equivalent to the crash that we already had. So we're a little bit different. And the exponential rise that we had in late 2015 is more equivalent to the giant rise that we had in early 2019. So we have similar events happening, but they're happening in completely different order. And also the halving took place here back then, and now it's happening when Bitcoin is acting in this environment. So what do I think from here? I think we are going to pull back. I think we will. I'm still leaning towards hitting the 200-week moving average one more time, hitting that 200-week moving average at approximately 6,000. And then we're going to enter, hopefully, this, but not as steep. But I'm not expecting another catastrophe like what happened in August of 2015. So I'm expecting us to fall to this area here and then rise in a slower fashion, because this was a run-up towards the halving. We already had that. So from here, after a pullback, I am anticipating a slower grind up, something like we had after the halving here, but I am looking for some more for a pullback. All right, this is a good note to leave it on. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the support. Please like, please subscribe, and we will try to do a news brief, a Bitcoin brief later today.